January 11th marks the end of my 3rd year on YouTube, and because I am a nosy Nelly and I love to hear the backstory and the behind the scenes of all the other YouTubers, I thought I would give you guys a little peek behind the curtain and review my 2024. This will be a great opportunity for me to kind of, memorialize where I am right now and how I grow in the future. But also, if you have been thinking about starting your own YouTube channel or joining the YouTube creator sphere, it gives you a little bit more information going into it so you can make the best decision for yourself. If you are new here, and I have got a ton of new folks here, welcome. I'm very excited that you're here. My name is Katie, and I make all kinds of stuff, mainly messes, primarily messes. I will get into the reasons why I started YouTube a little later on, as well as maybe some reasons why it might be a good idea for you to get into YouTube. But first, let's talk about the meat and potatoes, the numbers. Now, like I said, 2024 was a pretty big year for me. Actually, I didn't say that. 2024 was actually a pretty big year for me. That's not saying much because it was only my 3rd year, but it was definitely my best year so far. And generally, when you're talking about YouTube numbers, there are 3 that you really pay attention to and 4 when you just get going. So those are number of views, watch hours, subscribers, and revenue. I have to read this off because I do not remember numbers. So for 2024, I received 492,563 views. That's crazy. That's a crazy number of views. Some people receive that every day, but for little old me, that's amazing. And at the time, this was half of my channel's total views, which is awesome. Now, in terms of getting paid, believe it or not, the number of subscribers that you have really doesn't play a factor into that. What really counts is how many thousands of views you get. And content creators get paid per 1,000 views. The niche that you talk about, whether it be arts and crafts and entertainment and education, or gaming, or finance, will all determine how much you get paid per 1,000 views. So like I said, the number of subscribers really isn't a factor in that, but the more people that subscribe, generally, the more people are going to watch your video on a regular basis. This does sort of translate to total watch hours. And once you get going into YouTube, really once you are monetized, watch hours don't mean a whole lot. But in order to be monetized right now, in 2025, at the beginning of the year, you have to get, I believe, 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours. When I was first starting, that 4,000 watch hours seemed almost impossible. Actually, the 1,000 subscribers also seemed impossible, but we eventually made it. In 2024, I got 40,161 and a half total watch hours, which is pretty dang cool. Now, the numbers that I really care about are my wonderful subscribers and revenue. So in 2024, I gained 9,228 subscribers. And this was 61% more than 2023. And probably one of my proudest moments so far is, I believe in June, I crossed over the 10,000 subscriber mark. That was crazy. Like, that was amazing. I cannot believe that there were at least 10,000 people that wanted to watch me. And now there's even more of you, and I'm even more humbled. Like, that just, I'm gonna say this a lot. It blows my mind that there are that many of you that want to watch. So thank you for that. So I sent my brother a box of like goodies. And when they received it, there was toilet bowl cleaner in it. And I did not send my brother toilet bowl cleaner. A, it's funny, but B, if he didn't get some of the stuff that I sent to him, I'm going to be ever so pissed. This is what was in the box. This is what they said was in the box. I did not send them toilet bowl cleaner. I am confused. Anyway, so let's talk about revenue. Again, revenue is based on how many thousand views you get. That number can change depending on things. As of right now, I don't have any like sponsorships from anybody. Sometimes I do product like reviews or whatever, but I don't have any companies that are paying me money to share their products. So everything that I've made is just from YouTube AdSense. And for 2024, I made $2,538, which is pretty cool. Like, when I started this channel 3 years ago, I never, ever really anticipated it making any kind of money. And I'm not making money. I certainly spent way more than that on my stupid crafty stuff, which is why we're doing no buy this year. But it's just kind of crazy to think that a hobby, something that I started to kind of keep a journal of my making and sewing journey, may actually help support that habit, that addiction, if you will. So that's my 2024. My top video in all 4 categories was my cheapy to creepy redoing stuff I found at a thrift store into, creepy wall decorations video. I actually made that video in 2023 and it took off like a rocket. I guess in 2024, folks continued to like it. So in all categories, cheapy to creepy was my number 1. So that kind of leads to why I decided to start YouTube in the first place. And the big thing for me was I wanted to make more things, but simply making them kind of felt directionless. It kind of felt rudderless. And I had started mulling this idea over during COVID when I had a lot of time on my hands. And I knew there were people out there that were in the same spot as me, that maybe just wanted a crafting buddy or someone to tell them that it's okay to try and do weird shit with the stuff that you have, or take stuff from thrift stores and make it into stuff that you actually want to have in your house or on your body. So for me, it kind of took this many ideas and gave it a barrel to live in. And because of that, I feel like when I try different crafts or different projects, I now have a reason, if that makes any sense. Plus, if you're new here, I am passionate about secondhand stuff, upcycling, reusing, figuring out how to take stuff that is probably going to end up in a landfill and making it useful again. Just about every piece of fabric you see me use in my workshop is probably thrifted or has been bought secondhand or has been bought at cost. Something that people were going to give away. So I wanted to empower other people to try making things using materials that already existed. What I have found through that journey is that using materials that are pretty low risk, meaning you didn't invest a whole lot of money in them and they were going to a landfill anyway, it kind of takes some of the scary out of sewing. I talked about this in my last video, the 10 practical reasons for new sewists. Being able to use materials that you care about, but you don't have a huge financial investment in, really takes some of the pressure off of getting it right. Hopefully what you will learn, or what you have learned, is that we are not about getting it right on this channel. We are about doing it and learning from what we do. And so if you have been thinking about even dipping your toe into YouTube, here's what I will tell you. A, it's pretty low risk. Your first 10 videos, probably nobody will see. And really, I did not share this idea with most of my friends and family. I told my husband, of course. I told my mom. I think I told my best friend. That was it. I did not really tell a bunch of people. It's kind of embarrassing to sit in a room and talk to yourself. It's weird until you get used to it. And B, I didn't want people to watch things because they felt obligated to, and I wanted to see what kind of growth I would get starting fresh. I don't know if I'm numbering this list at all, but it's pretty low risk. If you don't like your first few videos, or if you don't like the process, or if it just isn't your jam, you can stop. It doesn't matter. Worst thing that's going to happen is that you learn some video skills that maybe you can use on something else. Best thing that's going to happen is that you're actually going to like it, and maybe you'll see some success with it. Maybe it'll bring a little bit of money, and it kind of keeps you accountable for the things that you're doing. When I say I'm using 2025 as a no-buy year, now there are 20,000 of you that have seen that. And it's not that I think you're going to be disappointed in me if I don't follow through, but I also don't want to be the person that's oh yeah, Katie doesn't follow through on anything. You know what I mean? It also kind of gives me the opportunity to exercise a different part of my creative brain, and I have to change my battery. Hold on. Here's the other part of it. I was really self-conscious about starting this because I was turning 40. I felt like I was way too old to be entering into the content creator sphere, I guess. It felt very disingenuous, like that's a young person thing, and I don't think I'm old, but I'm not young. Like I'm not in my 20s. But what I have found is that there are people that wanted to hear my voice, and chances are there are people that want to hear yours because you have a much different perspective than anybody else. Some of my favorite sewing creators are in their, I think, 60s. And I love listening to them talk about the projects that they're working on. Christine's Home Affairs, I love her. She runs a little shop that she sews a bunch of things using fabric samples that she gets for free. I love listening to her talk about the things that she makes and how they sell and how she makes it. She's wonderful. My husband likes to say there is an ass for every seat. So chances are, if you want to start a YouTube, there is somebody out there that wants to hear your voice. I think the biggest thing with it, just like in sewing, just like in making anything, is that you have to kind of stick with it if it's something that you want to do, and you're gonna fail. Like, things are gonna flop. There are videos that I've made that I was like, oh, I love this video, and then it just, nothing. And that's fine, because then other videos take off that I had no idea were going to, like Cheapy to Creepy. I still can't believe how popular that one was, and now I feel like I should do it again. So I know it's short, sweet, to the point, but hopefully you have kind of enjoyed getting a little peek behind the curtain to see how the sausage is made. I don't know what it means, but meaning something, because you're not really seeing how videos are made. At least what the numbers are for someone like me. So going into 2025, I would love to double my numbers again. I'm going in at a little over 17,000 subscribers. I would love to double that, if not more. And with that is going to come more views. It's going to come more revenue and probably more opportunities. So I've got some big things planned this year, and I'm excited to show them to you. That's all. That's all I got. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you didn't, that's fine too. You don't have to, but give it a thumbs up or a thumbs down. That's fine. And tell me in the comments if you are interested in starting your own YouTube and if there's any questions that you have. I'm not perfect. I'm still learning, but I can at least share my wisdom with everybody. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye.